Kirby-ites. We're here to talk the comedy races now. At the Creative Arts last week, you can say every show sort of had a good night. Transparent won 3, Veep upset in the casting category. Sorry guys.
Matt, this is why we can't have nice things.
Oh my gosh, I'm just glad. Obviously, if Tom O'Neill's watching, being a lot better at carrying the awards around the house and things like that. So, anyway, boy. So, Transparent had a good night, Veep had a good night, Modern Family won an award, they had a good night, Silicon Valley had a great night, winning 2 or 3. So all the sort of contenders for Best Comedy Series did well enough at the Creative Arts so you wouldn't rule them out based on their performance there. Let's just start by racing through some of the acting categories. Supporting actor in a comedy. Who are you calling? Who are you calling there, Charles?
I have Titus Burgess in number 1 right now, but let me just double check. Who do I have in number 2? I have Andre Braugher in number 2. It's very close. I'm kind of disheartened with how badly Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt did in Saturday's ceremony, but I still think Titus can do it.
Zach, what do you think?
I've got Titus at number 1 right now. Part of me wonders if Ty Burrell might win again, because I just rewatched that episode, and I mean, it displays his knack for physical comedy, and it showcases the emotion of that character. He's not in the episode a lot, but I mean, you know, I've got him at number 3 right now, but I mean, could happen, you know. I think I made you very sad, Matt. When
Yes, you did make me very sad. Ralph, what is your thoughts?
I have Ty Burrell in first, and I have Andre Braugher in second. I have Titus Burgess, I think, in fourth, because of the popular vote, and because you know, that episode that Zach was just talking about for Ty Burrell, that was probably, I think he selected it because I mean, he had others to go on and probably better, but at one of the Academy or the Emmy events, they asked him about 5 or 6 questions, like the Q&A part. Voters came up and asked him about like 5 or 6 questions, particularly about that episode, which is why I think he may have gone with it, because I don't think we helped him this year pick it. And I mean, it's Ty Burrell. You know, he's won twice before. He's really beloved within, you know, with Emmy voters. Modern Family is having, I mean, it's had its weakest year right now, but I still think in terms of a popular vote, I don't think enough people watch Kimmy Schmidt. And I think if they do watch the episodes, maybe they shut them off because they're just not very good. Burgess was fine, but he had maybe 1 funny episode. He didn't really have any range at all. So, you know, that's why I don't have him as a front runner. But I think Andre Braugher had a great episode, and you're talking about an actor's actor and somebody who's worked with everybody in the industry. You know, not that it has anything to do with it, but the Emmys are on Fox, and you just see, you know, he's been nominated before. I think he could be the biggest spoiler of all of them there.
Marcus?
I think the fact that the episodes don't matter anymore means my Titus Burgess prediction is kind of silly. I think he would have won based on, you know, if the voters actually watch all these episodes, but the fact that they're not doing that, based on, you know, Margot Martindale and Reggie Cathy winning, I actually just changed while you guys were yammering on. I changed to Ty Burrell as number 1. So there you go.
Now, to be fair, when we spoke with the president of the Academy last week, he said that they were seeing that people were clicking on the links to the episodes. We don't know that they're not watching the episodes.
Wait,
this is the
did
first...
they click 90 times for all the acting nominees, or did they click once
we
and
didn't
then
get
went back to the ballot?
a specific number or specific details from it. But, like, it's not necessarily that they're not watching the tapes. And I think, like, you know, we could point to categories in the last 2 or 3 years when they had a more tape-based system where you could go, well, they mustn't be watching the tapes if this person won. So I don't want us to get crazy with, oh my gosh, Margot Martindale won, no one's watching any tapes anymore. We might as well throw out the whole tape analysis system.
But I think it is important where, you know, if it's a complete unknown like Titus Burgess, it may be foolish to predict him at this stage when the popular vote's going to take over.
Yes, but let's not discount Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt did get a lot of nominations. It's nominated for comedy series. Jake Krakowski was nominated. Tina Fey, John Hamm were nominated, though you could say those were name-check nominations. The show does have support, so I don't think it's too out there to say that he has a very good shot at this.
Yeah, but if you have both Tina Fey and John Hamm, two Emmy staples, losing for that show, you cannot then turn around and expect that somebody that nobody really knows is going to win for that same show, especially when
maybe they were watching the episodes because they submitted bad episodes.
Well, okay.
But you were just saying that they don't watch the episodes.
Well, Marcus was saying that. But anyway, like, backpedal for a second though. I think it's quite interesting that you've got like you had John Hamm, Jane Krakowski, Tina Fey. You could argue they are name check acting winners. Titus was not a name check. They didn't have to nominate the guy. Mm-hmm. Like, why? How did he get a nomination in this field? But a lot of the Modern Family, maybe an Alphabet benefited him. I'm sure there's other actors that are high up in the Alphabet that didn't get nominated. I'm just saying, is he a performance that they actually like? Because Tina Fey, John Hamm, yeah, take the name Tina Fey, we love her. Titus, maybe his performance resonated with people in the acting branch. Maybe people really like this character.
Anybody who likes that show likes his character. I mean, it's a huge part of that show's appeal.
So I actually think the fact that he's not a recognizable name actually helps him, because it's like when Christian Clemenson beat Michael J. Fox for Boston Legal. Like, they like the Christian Clemenson character. I know that was on tape, so it was very tape-based, but I think sometimes you can get a character that they like can actually do quite well.
Another thing that should be considered as well with Ty Burrell, and I'm not discounting Ty Burrell. I have him in fourth, but it would not surprise me to see him win again because of the Emmys' constant reliability to just go with things that they've already gone with. But he doesn't have a co-star nominated this year. This is the first time that's happened.
Yeah.
And it gives me some pause, because he's also been able to have clips on someone else's tape the past 2 times that he's won. He doesn't have that this year.
I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, Julie Bowen's nominated, and this year there's no blue ribbon panels. So maybe if they were to watch her episode and his episode, he's really good in hers. It's the Valentine's Day thing where he kind of falls in love with her alter.
Let's do a few show of hands. Who isn't predicting Alison Janney for Mum? Okay, Riley and Zach. Riley, who are you picking?
I've got Gabby Hoffman for now. I just think that Mom is not a show that Emmy voters are watching. I found that with the guest acting winners on Saturday, then they were either vote the ticket in the case of Reggie Cathy and Bradley Whitford, or they were voting for the person who they liked the most, Margot Martindale or Joan Cusack. Mom is a show that hasn't gotten any nominations, even though they have all those ridiculous CBS multicam categories that were designed specifically for shows like Mom to benefit. And Alison Janney, I'm not sure how popular she actually is. I know that she has a lot of Emmys, but those were all tape-based. I mean, her wins last year are very clearly instances where she had the best tape. Would she have won if it was a popular vote? Maybe, but we don't actually know. And there was a long gap between The West Wing and Mom/Masters of Sex where she didn't get any nominations for guest starring in other shows. And she couldn't beat Margot Martindale in name recognition in that category. So again, I'm not sure how popular Alison Janney is, and I know that Mom isn't popular, so I'm going with somebody who is on a popular show, which is transparent.
And Zach?
I have Anna Klumsky in first and Jane Krakowski in second. Anna Klumsky seems logical just because if it is indeed Veep's year to win, it seems like it could win more than one acting award. And, I mean, this is her third nomination. She's, I guess due. Jen Krakowski seems logical as well because, I mean, it's very kind of close to the character she played on 30 Rock, and I think there might be some voters who feel remiss that they didn't vote for her then and can vote for her now. I think that predicting Allison Janney on the basis that she won last year is, a sound idea, but, you can't always win just because you won last year, Even though I made that argument for Ty Burrell.
Yeah, well, look, if we're talking about tapes being watched less this year, that would really hurt Allison Janney. I think the tape system helps her performance here incredibly. If they're not watching tapes, then this race really becomes up in the air. And I do think Anna Klumsky's then in the front runner position with the support Veep has and the rest of the field, and the fact she's been nominated a couple times before. She's sort of a little overdue. So I think things would align well for Anna. And she's got a great tape. It's not like if she won, you could say they didn't watch the tape either. It'd be a hard one for us to unpack.
I have Anna in second place. Really, my top four are the ones that I'm really, really considering as ones. I have Allison Janney in first, Anna Klumsky in second. I have Niecy Nash in third, and Jen Krakowski in fourth. Right now, those are very interchangeable. I'm very close to putting Anna Klumsky in first place, though.
I mean, I think anything could happen in this category for the fact that there's 8 nominees.
Yes.
So you don't really need that much of the vote in order to win, in a field of 8. So it's got to be pulled in a bunch of different ways.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's true.
In lead actor, who's not picking Tambor?
Charlie.
You're sticking with Forte?
I have Forte. I will say after the win by Whitford on Saturday night, I'm actually kind of tempted to put Jeffrey Tambor back in first place. I'm very hesitant to base this category off of what happens in the guest category, but it's very close for me right now, and I'm just all over the place with this. So I really have no idea what to make of it.
But Bradley's win tells us they will vote for a dramatic character.
That's why I'm strongly considering putting Tambor in my number 1 slot. If you were listening to me like we talked about in therapy, then you would have heard me there. And that's me expressing that to
Charlie,
you, Marcus. Do you hear me?
Bradley's win suggests they will vote for a dramatic character in a comedy field, though. Have you thought about that?
No, that's exactly what I said. It's exactly.
So let's so there's a great Tambor's looking very much in the front there. Let's switch to the actress race. Julia Louis-Dreyfus won the last 3 years in a row. She's undefeated in this category. Who here thinks this will be the year she loses? I'm looking at you, Ralph. No, so everyone's picking her. Ralph, why are you picking her? That surprised me a little bit.
To shut you up so I don't have to argue with you during this damn part of the slugfest. And I mean, I don't know. I think the category. There's no based on. I mean, if you watch the episodes, there's no really standout episode. We already know that they love Julie Louis-Dreyfus. I mean, Lily Tomlin can sneak in. Amy Schumer can sneak in. But Amy Poehler could sneak in now with the expansion of the popular vote here. But I don't know. I just picked her because this category, if Amy Schumer won, that's who I would pick. That's who I would like to win. Other than that, I just don't really care.
Yeah. I think Amy Poehler's got a really good chance. In my mind, no, I think
Why is that?
I think with sentimentality, I think she's in a bit of a similar spot to John Hamm in the sense that, there's a bit of maybe awareness. I think a bit less awareness than there is for John Hamm. And I think Julia's a bit of a stronger competitor than anyone John Hamm's got in his race. So that's why I think that's why I think with Julia. Now, Julia is maybe in her weakest position ever to win Best Lead Actress in a Drama Series. I think we'd probably all agree with Amy, the two Amy's, and other people are very strong. But Veep is in its strongest position ever to win Best Comedy Series. Now, who is picking Veep? Let's see how we divide our editorial team. Raise your hand if you're picking Veep to win. I definitely am. None of you are picking Veep. This is no, Charles is good. Charles, why is Veep going to win?
Don't even matter anymore.
I didn't know your hand was cut off, Charles. It's like.
No, I'm picking Veep because it's not in writing and directing. It is more of a comedy series. It's more of a comedy show, and it also has HBO behind it. So I think that's something that can't be ignored as well.
Ralph, why is it going to get ignored?
Well, the HBO part.
Only one HBO comedy's ever won before, so that you can't say.
Yeah,
that
but HBO knows how to win Emmys as well.
They don't even campaign for them.
No, they don't. They don't campaign for the Emmys. They campaign for the nominations, and after that, it's whatever. It's whoever wins.
So, Ralph, who are you picking?
I have Modern Family still. I'm not jumping off Modern Family until it actually loses. I don't think.
Yeah.
I think again with the broad voting system, it's the most watched of all the comedies. It's the most probably non-controversial of all the comedies there, and Veep wasn't as popular this year in terms of ratings. It had a creative slide. I thought last year it was really strong, and last year it should have pulled it off. But this year I think it would be a mistake if it won. So I'm just gonna go. If they gave it to Modern Family last year, I think they'll give it to them again this year.
Yeah, it's not.
I'd be very interested to find that Slugfest chat from last year where Ralph says Veep was great this year. I think it should win the Best Comedy Series this year. I maybe you did. I'm not going to say, but I would love to hear that.
Modern Family is not just the most watched. It's like the most watched by 10 million. It's crazy how many people watch that show compared to the 1 million that watch Veep. The 800,000 that watch Louis. It's crazy how many people still watch this. It's the Game of Thrones of the comedy nominees.
Well, and look,
that's a bit of a stretch.
And look, I'd say the same thing that I said when I was talking about Mad Men and all last night. It's won 5 Best Comedy Series awards. You'd be crazy to discount it.
I haven't exactly.
I really do think the people who are saying, well, Modern Family can't win this year, their time's over, I think are being a bit silly. I'm not predicting it. I do think it's in a weak position. I don't like that it doesn't have the director or writing nominations. Yeah. I don't think it's going to win, but it would not surprise me at all. I think it's very much in a 3-horse race. That third horse is Transparent. Who is picking Transparent? Zach, why?
Because I've had it at number 1 since the Emmy nominations came out, and I feel remiss to change it.
It's not funny. It's not funny, Zach.
All right. Now
they're going to win. Well, if you're arguing that they're good, that Jeffrey Tambor is going to win, even though he's not funny, why can't the series win if it's not funny?
There's funnier competition here.
To that point, though, I do think this is a 3-show race. I think Transparent has a zeitgeist feel to it. The problem is that, as you said, it's not funny. It deals with very important issues in this country right now, but it's not widely watched. Modern Family, those 6 episodes that they submitted are 6 really strong episodes from that season. We talk about how it's had its weakest showing yet, but they submitted probably the 6 best episodes they could have submitted. They're very funny. They're very touching. I have Transparent at number 1 right now, but it's a shaky number 1. I'm not basing that on anything more than the fact that A, it won the Globe, which doesn't seem to matter, and B, the fact that it has this zeitgeist thing about it. But, at the end of the day, that might not matter. It might just be for Tambor and Bradley Whitman, and that's it. You know.
I was very disappointed in how Transparent did at the Creative Arts Awards. I mean, I know it won 3 awards, but it didn't actually win any against any real competitors that it has in the comedy category here. Like, it won main title theme music, where it took down Texas Rising. It won costumes, where it took down Empire. And even for guest actor, like, it took down Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. So what?
I think the casting win beating it was maybe a little. I wouldn't want to read too much into that one category, but I do think a first season show you'd usually expect to win that category. So the fact that it couldn't beat Veep there might.
That's a good point.
Yeah, but I've got to go, guys. I do think that Modern Family, Transparent, and Veep all have a shot at winning this Emmy.
I'm predicting Silicon Valley.
Yeah, Silicon Valley. You cannot discount Silicon Valley.
Yeah, I
gonna
think Silicon Valley has a sliver legitimate shot at possibly being a spoiler here.
I mean, Silicon Valley is nominated by every branch except for the acting one, but like Veep, we had to wait 3 years before the writers got to it. We had to wait 4 years for the directors. It's still not nominated for editing. Silicon Valley was nominated for writing and directing its first year. This year it won editing. It picked up sound. The only thing it's missing is acting, and you have a bunch of young, unknown actors who are not also writers. There's no demographic that is harder to get nominated for an acting award than that.
Okay. The one thing I'll give it is that I do think Silicon Valley is going to get votes. I do think that you could make a case. I think it skews a bit off for Academy members, but I do agree. I probably is unfair to discount it.
But I mean, like, it doesn't seem like a show that will appeal to the Academy, but we're also talking about a year where they're voting for Game of Thrones, and if Veep should appeal more to the Academy, how come it didn't get writing and directing for so long, where they're so quick to embrace Silicon Valley? It airs right after Game of Thrones. It's relatively watched among this set of nominees.
Yeah, no, that's true. Good point. Okay, guys, great chatting Emmys with you, and we'll hopefully touch base later in the week.
All right.
Bye.
Sounds good.